Good evening, everybody. I welcome you all to this presentation on metapopulation dynamics. So this is in continuation of the chapter population ecology. Now, what do we mean by the population dynamics? So population dynamics means the change in population, means either the growth pattern is increasing or decreasing, and this is due to the interaction between biotic potential and environmental resistance. Biotic potential means the maximum number of living organisms which are given birth by an organism, either a plant or animal or any living species. And environmental resistance means the growth rate being hindrance because of certain predation or some accident because of which the organisms dies away. Now we study the population dynamics by several models, and the first one was given by Malthus. So this was given in the year 1969, and according to that in any population, if there is no environmental resistance, then the growth of the population would take place exponentially. The population dynamics is studied by certain approaches, and there are three approaches. The first one is by certain mathematical models. It could be theoretical models or it could be simulation models. Then second is by laboratory tests, and third is by field studies. So the next topic is what do we mean by a metapopulation? So a metapopulation consists of a group of the same species, a population which is spatially present in different regions. Means the same organisms population, say same animals population is present in different patches of a habitat. The term metapopulation was first given by Richard Lewins in 1969, and it was in his model for studying population dynamics. Now, whenever metapopulation groups arises, then the fragmentation of the habitat takes place into small patches. So it becomes a cause or a factor for habitat fragmentation. And we study the role of each organism in the patchiness of a habitat, or the population dynamics, means either increase or decrease in the growth, and coexistence of more than one species in the same habitat, as well as the species extinction causes also. So very broadly speaking, metapopulation means the spatially structured population, means any species, animal species whose population is spread away in different patches spatially. So that is known as a population metapopulation. Now in this picture we can see that many patches or different fragmentation of the habitat occurs, and in between the patches the animal travels. So certain empty patches are also remaining here. Now in case of conservation biology, we find that although an individual population may have finite lifespan, but the metapopulation as a whole is becomes a factor for the stable immigration from one population to another. Now this happens because like no single population may be able to guarantee the long-term survival of a given species, but the combined effect of many population togetherly may be able to do this, and this helps in case of like restricting the process of extinction in case of threatened species also. Now, how does a metapopulation grow, or how does a metapopulation shrink? So obviously this is because of the immigration and immigration of the animals from one place to another. In case of fishes, we find that a subpopulation of fish species is there, and this is equivalent to the metapopulation term. and in local language we call it as the local population of fish species. Next is the study of this metapopulation. So we study this metapopulation dynamics by by mini models, and in this presentation we will be discussing about the Lotka-Volterra model and Hafker's experiment on predator and prey. So Lotka-Volterra model, this was done by on the animal, that is lynx and snowshoe hare. So this was done as the predator and prey. Now the dynamics of natural population of predator and prey in case of lynx and snowshoe hare. So this was done in order to show the predator and prey population dynamics. And in this model we find that the population of the predator and prey, it grows and decreases in a exponential form. So in this graph we can see the lynx population and the Lepus americanus. So this study was done more than 30 years, and the population of lynx and the snow hare was registered. Next model is the Hafteker's experiment on predator and prey in the year 1958. So he did it over two mite species, means both the predator and prey were different species of mites, and he found that by modifying the spatial structure, means the different patches of the mite species could change change the population dynamics of both the predator and prey, and both the predator and prey could coexist with each other. He found that the manipulation of the population dynamics and the overall survival of both the prey and the predator could increase. And his work also showed that how spatially separated population of species interact with one another. Next, we study certain case studies of metapopulation in Assam. So the first case is the metapopulation of tiger, which is found in the different inhabiting areas of the Brahmaputra Valley for long-term survival of tigers. Now here we find that the tiger population of Kaziranga is considered as a source population, means there's a source and sink area. So the main area from where the tiger population is found is known as a source, and the rest of the patches are known as a sink. So we can see how the animal can travel from one place to another, how the population can move from the main source area to the different patches. Now in case of tigers, we find that the source place is the Kaziranga National Park, while the other areas of the whole habitat are the Orang National Park, then the Laukha Wildlife Sanctuary, Burasapuri Wildlife Sanctuary, and some reserve forests. And in this study, it was found that the whole area has got high potentiality for the density of tigers. This was a study done by M. Firoz, and in the year 2019, and it was published in the Assam Tribune. So here we can see that there's a source population and a sink population. Source is the main area from where the animal is found, and sink means the other areas, other patches where the animal habitat could be found. So the study also revealed that how the human population in the river islands of west of Kolia Bhumura Bridge was a major hindrance for the animals' movement, and stress was improvised for conservation and management strategies for the entire landscape. So this was a very important study. Next is the case study of pest Diclespa dispa armigera, that is oliver, was studied in two sites of Borak Valley of Assam, and those were Dorgakona and Katigora, and in the 3 seasons. So here the population dynamics of rice hispa was studied. Next is the case study of Hulok gibbon habitat, and this was carried out in the Inner Line Reserve Forest and the adjoining of Kachar district in southern Assam.